I would like to acknowledge that I have created this presentation in the territory of the Robinson-Huron Treaty of 1850, the Nipissing First Nation traditional territory and the traditional territory of the Anishinaabeg. I respect and I am grateful to be able to live and learn on these lands with all our relations. My name is Dr. Julie Corkett. I'm a tenured full professor at Nipissing University, and I am honored to be providing you with an overview of the key themes raised in our edited monograph, Addressing Climate Anxiety in Schools, Pedagogical Perspectives and Theoretical Foundations, as outlined in the final chapter. As discussed throughout the monograph, educators are encouraged to use a comprehensive and empathetic approach to empower students to navigate the complexities of climate change and contribute positively to a sustainable future, while also ensuring that students are emotionally resilient and equipped with strong ethical values required for facing the environmental challenges of today and into the future. According to Copernicus Climate Change Service, the year 2024 was marked as the first year with an average temperature clearly exceeding 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, resulting in deadly heat waves in Europe, North America, China, Asia, and other regions of the world. According to EOS Data Analytics, in 2024, tropical cyclones, hurricanes, and storms grew in intensity with greater speed, bringing with it enormous amounts of rainfall. The warmer temperatures of 2024 contained more moisture, which resulted in intense rainstorms and caused flooding in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Spain, Brazil, and Hungary. In 2024, North America and South America, Croatia, United Emirates, and others were hit hard by wildfires that were fueled by drought and extreme heat. We are only halfway through 2025, and according to Copernicus Climate Change Service, January 2025 was 1.75 degrees warmer than the average for the month and was the 18th month in a 19-month period with a global average surface air temperature exceeding 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Climate change has arrived with no mercy. Today's students are not spared the experiences and fears of climate change and are acutely aware of the multifaceted impacts of climate change. Therefore, teachers may be growing increasingly concerned that classroom discussions examining the ramifications of climate change on both the local and global scales may affect the mental well-being of both students and educators through the manifestation of climate anxiety. So what is climate anxiety? For the purpose of this presentation, climate anxiety refers to uncontrollable and chronic stress, worry, and fear about climate-induced endangerment to all forms of life to such a significant degree that it affects an individual's emotional, cognitive, and physical well-being. In essence, climate anxiety can be understood as an intense concern and fear about one's ability to survive the challenges posed by climate change. As climate anxiety is rooted in the concrete reality of the ongoing threat of climate change, it stands apart from generalized anxiety, which can be linked to improbable events. Therefore, climate anxiety can be considered the manifestation of the recognition of the urgency and scale of climate change on one's environment and its direct impact on one's ability to survive. It is essential, however, that climate anxiety is not viewed as pathological. Climate anxiety is not a medically recognized disease, medical condition, or mental disorder. Climate anxiety is a rational response to the scientifically validated threats that climate change poses to the environment, humanity, and ecosystems. Teachers, therefore, can be perceived as frontline workers who are charged with the essential task of rationally educating children and youth about climate change, its causes, impacts, and possible solutions by fostering critical thinking and encouraging active participation in environmental initiatives. Through an understanding of climate anxiety, teachers can approach climate change education in a sensitive manner, balancing the dire messaging of climate catastrophe with messages of hope and empowerment. As teachers become cognizant of the emotional and psychological impacts of climate change, they can embrace the necessity of creating safe spaces for students to express their concerns and emotions. To prepare teachers for addressing climate change, a comprehensive curriculum is required that equips students with the knowledge, skills, and values needed to navigate and address the complexities of climate change. Students' knowledge about climate change needs to include an understanding of the science of climate change, as well as how anthropogenic environmental impacts such as industrialization, deforestation, and pollution have significantly altered the planet's climate. Teaching students about the historical context of climate change may help students understand the direct link between human actions and environmental degradation, thereby fostering a sense of responsibility and agency. Without a robust understanding of climate change, students may experience increased uncertainty and confusion. By providing accurate information and debunking myths, teachers can help students develop a more grounded and realistic understanding of climate change. Furthermore, by regularly revisiting and defining terms such as climate anxiety, eco-anxiety, sustainability, and resilience, students can feel more comfortable and confident in their knowledge rather than being distressed by confusion and uncertainty. Students should be made aware that learning about and experiencing climate change may not be the main or only factor contributing to their anxieties. Students need opportunities to explore how their concerns are influenced by various social and public media and how those media may affect perceptions of future risks. Examining the impact of social media can help students to understand public attitudes, behaviors, and anxiety towards climate change. For example, media literacy education can teach students to critically assess the portrayal of climate issues in various media and effectively learn to source balanced perspectives. In this age of information overload, AI-generated misrepresentations, and false narratives, it is important that students learn to distinguish between credible sources, misinformation, and disinformation. To achieve that ability, students require foundational knowledge in critical thinking and research skills to evaluate scientific data, understand the impacts of climate change, and explore potential solutions. Empowering students with the ability to critically analyze information will enable them to make informed decisions and engage in effective climate action. Teachers can enhance students' critical thinking and problem-solving skills by providing students with opportunities to analyze environmental issues and develop potential mitigations to climate change. Learning opportunities such as assignments that require students to research, propose, and implement sustainability initiatives not only teach relevant environmental science, but also develop skills for addressing the complex challenges associated with climate change. When students research, propose, and implement sustainability initiatives, they experience firsthand the process of turning ideas into actionable solutions. Hands-on learning helps students see the tangible impacts of their efforts and goes a long way in reinforcing their belief that they can make a difference. As students encounter and overcome obstacles during such projects, they practice the creative process of design, of articulating and communicating ideas, and implementing their ideas effectively. Their confidence in their problem-solving abilities grow. Seeing the positive effects of their initiatives within their communities or school environments can provide a sense of accomplishment and reinforce their commitment to environmental stewardship. As argued in our monograph, by integrating critical thinking and problem-solving activities, teachers enhance not only students' knowledge about climate change, but also their confidence and emotional resilience. Teachers need to use interactive and engaging teaching strategies that foster an appreciation for environmental sustainability and promoting a sense of agency and connectedness. Student-directed inquiry allows students to take ownership of their learning and explore topics of personal interest. When students are actively engaged in their learning, they are more likely to feel empowered and capable of making a difference. By exploring topics that resonate with them personally, students can discover ways to connect their actions to broader environmental goals, fostering a proactive rather than a reactive stance towards climate change. Evident throughout our monograph is the importance of designing lessons that incorporate sustainable practices and encourage students to adopt pro-environmental behaviors in their daily lives. For example, science lessons can include ways to reduce carbon footprints, recycling initiatives, and sustainable energy generation design. By connecting pro-environmental behavior to developmental goals such as leadership development, teachers can provide their students with the opportunity to lead initiatives, organize events, and influence their peers, all of which enhance leadership skills and agency. By making these behaviors part of the regular classroom routine, students can see the tangible impact of their actions, thereby invalidating feelings of helplessness and fostering a sense of agency. Incorporating environmental literature that emphasizes connection, interdependence, and environmental ethics encourages students to reflect on their own relationship with nature and others, which helps deepen students' emotional engagement and understanding. Literature that highlights the interconnectedness of all living things can help students see the broader impact of their actions and the importance of collective efforts in addressing climate change. By using interactive and reflective teaching strategies, teachers can create a learning environment that not only educates students about environmental sustainability, but also addresses their climate anxiety. Students who feel connected to their learning and to the natural world are more likely to develop a resilient and hopeful outlook, and, in turn, will be better equipped to cope with the emotional challenges connected to climate change. This can reduce feelings of isolation and anxiety by reinforcing their understanding that they are part of a larger community working towards common goals. Students often perceive behaviors related to the environment as either morally right or wrong. However, morals and ethics are rarely so clear-cut. To help develop an understanding of the complexity of environmental ethics, students need to explore the relationship between climate change and social and environmental injustices. By addressing ethical issues associated with climate change in a supportive and empathetic manner, educators help vulnerable students feel understood and reassured, which can alleviate anxiety and promote a sense of agency. This approach may ensure that all students, regardless of their background, feel empowered to take part in environmental activism. Teachers are also encouraged to help students internalize climate-friendly personal norms by connecting pro-environmental behaviors to the students' existing values. When doing so, it is essential that teachers consider the students' cultural, social, and individual backgrounds and then frame environmental responsibility in a way that resonates with the students on a personal level, challenging their beliefs and lived experiences. Diverse and inclusive materials can provide different perspectives and enrich learning experience. For instance, by assisting students to develop sensitivity to local environmental issues, teachers can engender an understanding of the importance of far-reaching and global ecological interactions. Educators can design projects that investigate local environmental challenges such as water pollution, deforestation, or urban heat islands, thus connecting global climate issues to local contexts. Students can see the immediate relevance of their actions and feel more motivated to contribute to solutions. Students also feel powerless in the face of climate change due to their limited capacity to influence change, which can exacerbate climate anxiety. Therefore, it is important that students develop coping strategies for their emotions. Problem-focused coping involves taking actionable steps, such as participating in community cleanup projects. Emotional-focused coping emphasizes managing emotional responses to climate change through practices like mindfulness and other stress reduction techniques. Meaning-focused coping refers to finding personal significance in environmental action, which can provide a sense of purpose and motivation. All three strategies reflect teaching and learning strategies that foster the creation of meaning, hope, engagement, and self-efficacy, all of which may go a long way in addressing students' climate anxiety. Incorporating strategies that help students practice different coping mechanisms will enhance their emotional intelligence and resilience. Using various coping strategies, students can better manage their emotions, reduce anxiety, and improve their overall well-being. By providing students with a comprehensive understanding of climate change, fostering their mental resilience, and creating opportunities to develop strong ethical values, we can prepare students to face the challenges of the future. The implementation of appropriate teaching strategies enables teachers to promote a supportive and dynamic learning environment that addresses climate anxiety and fosters resilience, critical thinking, and a commitment to environmental stewardship. An integrated approach to climate change education ensures that students are not only informed about the scientific aspects of climate change, but also equipped to manage their emotional responses, engage in ethical decision-making, and take meaningful action. Through a comprehensive and empathetic approach, students can be empowered to navigate the complexities of climate change and contribute positively to a sustainable future. For more information, I encourage you to review our monograph, Addressing Climate Anxiety in Schools, Pedagogical Perspectives and Theoretical Foundations, which offers a contemporary examination of climate anxiety within schools. The monograph is divided into 2 sections. The first section outlines how climate anxiety manifests in schools, examines the theoretical underpinnings of climate change education, and its psychological impact on students and teachers. The second section presents innovative and practical strategies for mitigating climate anxiety in the classroom, highlighting the importance of cohesive learning environments and cross-curricular approaches. Thank you very much for your attention and interest.